keep talking dirty to my mind. Oh, when I'm in my room and I'm all alone, laying in my bed, I give you a call. You know what to say when I'm soaking wet. Make my rivers flow, baby. I like it when you get a little nasty. Start talking romantic. Ooh, my kind of guy. He got touching on my body. Baby, I can't stop. When you talk so seductively. Ooh, baby. Sex. Talk to me, dirty baby. Sex talk. Talk to me, dirty baby. Sex talk dirty to me, dirty to my mind. Keep talking dirty to my mind. Sex talk to me, dirty baby. Sex talk to me, dirty baby. Talk. You got me shook up in my mind. Oh yeah, erotic words you speak feels like you're here and you're so deep. You got a dirty mouth, keep talking shit. Imagination running wild, baby. This ain't no PG. Dirty mouth, keep talking shit. Hey, touch me right now. I am the moon. Talk to me dirty. Don't stop, daddy, don't stop. Say my name, what's the name? Sex, talk to me, dirty baby. Sex, talk to me, dirty baby. Sex, talk. You got me shook up in my mind.
Buenas noches, ¿cómo están todos mis reinas y reyes? Hola, Jazmín, estás en primera fila otra vez. Mucho gusto y me da mucho gusto que me estés apoyando a mí y a Jazzy. Y como miras, aquí tengo a Jazzy.
Hello.
Ahora sí, mis reinas, tenemos unas pocas cosas de qué hablar porque Jazzy y yo tenemos tenemos unas preguntas que necesitamos ayuda, ¿ok? Así que paso a lo siguiente. Pero primero les voy a contar una cosa y eso es de que le quiero dar muchas gracias a mis invitadas de la semana pasada, que fue Ana y Lili. Ana, espero que hayas llegado a ¿cómo se dice? Ciudad de Puebla, bien. Te mando muchos besitos y muchas bendiciones y ya sabes, todo positivo, ¿ok? Nosotros tenemos una pelea que vamos a pelear y vamos a triunfar y ganar. Y luego Lili, te mando muchos besitos y abrazos y espero que te sientas bien, ¿ok? Y ahora paso, Jazzy, Jazmín says hi.
Hello.
Bueno, pues, y ahora vamos a preguntarle a Jazzy qué es lo que ha estado haciendo, porque no ha estado con nosotros en este programa, ¿eh? A ver, Jazzy, tell us, what have you been up to? Because you have not been here. Do tell.
Wow. Well, last week I was sick. That's why I was not here. But nothing really. I just got a new job. So I've been working mostly. It's pretty much it. It's my life.
Story of my life, too.
Yeah, it's real ghetto.
Ok, dice Jazzy que no No nos ha acompañado porque ha estado enfermita, pero también acaba de comenzar un nuevo trabajo que pues ya ve, todos tenemos que trabajar para pagar esos biles. Y hablando de nuevo trabajo, yo también tengo otro trabajo, a pesar del trabajo que tengo, bueno, mis otros dos trabajos, porque tengo el militar y luego también todavía tengo el Lens Crafters y ahora tengo, ¿cómo se llama? Dog Junkies Thrift Store. Yes, it is called Dog Junkies Thrift Store.
Do they sell a lot of dog stuff? Do they have pet stuff there?
As a matter of fact, yes, because all the proceeds go to help a home for spa. Es un nuevo trabajo que es una tienda de, ¿cómo se dice?, de segunda. Vienen las donaciones y como lo he mencionado muchas veces antes, bueno, se me hace que aquí sí o no, bueno, no me acuerdo, pero bueno, vamos a comenzar. Las donaciones que se hacen para esa tienda de segunda, el dinero que hacen lo usamos para rescatar a mascotas que pierden sus casas, que sus ¿cómo se dice? Sus dueños los abandonan y todo eso ayudamos para rescatar a los mascotas y pagar todos los biles del veterinario, porque eso sí es bien caro. Así que ya saben, si vives aquí en Las Vegas y tienes donaciones, por favor, lleva tus cosas ahí y ahí las surtimos y luego las vendemos. Bueno, okay, Jessie, so how's that new job?
It's going.
Can you talk about it?
Started a couple days ago. I just recently got a state job, so I'm back with the state. Before I left Cali, I was with county, so I'm like, it's kind of my lane. But yeah, it's cool. Like I'm still learning everything and training, so.
That's okay, that's where we all start.
It's good, it's good.
Ok, para esos que no saben, que Jessie dice que ha comenzado con un trabajo con el Estado, apenas está entrenando, así que vamos a darle mucha porra y muchas bendiciones para que siga con su trabajo. We're all gonna have the, little prayers and send the good vibes and the good juju towards your way.
Yes.
Ahora sí, Jazmín, de allá de nuestra tienda de la 42. You remember that store, Jessie? The store at the 42nd Street. The white building, remember? Bueno, Jazmín de la tienda de Adriana Sex Shop. Así que ya sabes, ¿eh? Todos los que estén mirando, que me estén apoyando aquí, por favor, vayan y visiten a Jazmín. Jazmín, se ha vendido, nadie te ha dicho de cuáles son mis productos que me gustan, porque ya ves que ahora tenemos que agarrar el Satisfyer, ¿eh? Así que ahí me dices que ahí dinos que hay de especiales, si me lo puedes poner aquí para mirarlo, porque no miro de la otra manera, si no me salgo. Pero bueno, todos los que tengan preguntas, quieren un juguetito, una lotion, some potions, una veladora, si alguien lo quiere quemar ahí, mira, caliente. We're talking about the candle, we're not going to burn no one.
Yeah, it was a lot of good stuff in that store.
Dice, a ver, mis amores, dice Jessie que había muchas cosas buenas en esa tienda. Jessie, you still remember that wall, huh?
I'm going to leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Jazmín, Jessie todavía se acuerda de esa pader, ¿eh? Ya sabes de a cuál es, porque dice que todavía se acuerda. Y dice, dejo en paz. Jessie, why do you want to leave a topic alone?
Are we talking about the same one?
Yes, we are talking about that same one.
It looked like it was a lot of good stuff on there, but like a lot of dangerous stuff at the same time, so I'm gonna leave it alone. It was a good one though. Like, you guys are in town, definitely go check it out.
Ya sabes, si unos de ustedes van a ir a visitar a San Luis, Río Colorado, Sonora, vayan a la tienda de la 42. Bueno, le digo la tienda de la 42 porque está en la calle 42, así que ya saben. Pero se llama Adriana's Sex Shop y Lencería. Y ahorita me acaba de decir Jazmín que tienen especiales de paquetes de promociones con geles y juguetes ya armados. Oh, Jazzy, that's for you. Do you have your phone up, Jasmine?
Yes.
Okay. Jasmine just sent you a message in English.
The wall is unforgettable. The wall is unforgettable. She know about it. She know. she knew exactly which wall I was talking about.
Exactly. We
It's
know
full
what
of
wall.
good stuff, but it's like when I say dangerous, like just be careful. Just be careful.
Dice que es un poco de, ¿cómo se dice? Peligroso esa pared. No más de que tengan mucho cuidado, ¿eh? Pero cuidado, pero de mucho amor y de mucho sexo. Ahora sí, mire, vámonos a lo siguiente. Vamos a hablar del tema otra vez porque no tenemos exactamente ¿cómo se dice? Las respuestas o el entendido de tener una relación abierta, open relationship. We need some clarification here. We sure do. Okay, Jazzy. Let's get into it.
I'm like, okay, you take it over.
Don't worry, I got this. Ahora sí, mis reyes y mis reinas. La pregunta es de que, ¿qué exactamente es, cómo se dice, el entendido de tener una relación abierta? Si ustedes nos pueden ayudar, por favor. No hay respuesta incorrecta y no hay respuesta buena, o sea, directa o buena. No sé cómo se dice eso. Y la razón que estamos preguntando esto otra vez, porque a mí me ha pasado uno donde un amigo dijo que él está en una relación abierta. So, este amigo, no voy a decir cuál es su nombre, pero dijo que él está en una relación abierta. Pero aquí está la cosa. Si alguien le habla, por ejemplo, una otra mujer que X cosa, él no puede levantar el teléfono porque su pareja le dijo, podemos tener una relación abierta, puedes hacer lo que sea fuera de la casa, pero adentro de la casa no lo traigas. Perdón. Eso es para el hombre y la mujer. Ahora, mi pregunta que yo le hice a mi amigo fue, entonces no es una relación abierta, es una relación controlada. Y yo dije, oh no, honey. You're a hostage.
What?
Hold on. Porque, óyeme, si no puedes contestar el teléfono, no puedes salir. Por ejemplo, si ella te dice, sí, vete con fulanita y sutanita, pero no lo traigas a la casa. Oh, no puedes salir con ellos porque ahora te están controlando. Pues sí, eres ¿cómo se dice? ¿Estás como en la cárcel? ¿Como quien dice? Hell, you're in jail. Así lo voy a decir. Así que si ustedes saben cómo decir eso en inglés y en español, ahí nos dicen, ¿eh? Okay, Jessie. So here's the thing what I just said.
Okay.
So there's a friend of mine, and he said that he's in an open relationship. Okay. He's in this relationship, but they both have that understanding. As a matter of fact, it was his, how you say it? His, the female, the girlfriend.
Like his significant other's idea?
Yes,
okay.
Significant idea. Yeah. Thank you. See, I can't even talk in English or in Spanish
like,
now. I may have to change this language and go to another one.
Sign language.
That's not bad at all. That's not a bad idea. So here's the thing. He said he's in an open relationship. Okay. She's the one that brought it up. It was her idea. Mm-hmm. But this is the whole entire clause in this whole entire situation. You can do whatever you want, see whomever you want, just don't bring it to the house. Okay. Now here's the problem. Problem number one. If the other person that he decided to go see, that person calls, he cannot answer the phone because she's there. Because then she'll cock up an attitude and do the whole enchilada here. The drama.
Okay.
he cannot go out because she won't like it. So how is that ever an open relationship? Because if you ask me, the whole entire situation is being controlled. I mean, you're
It
like in
sounds like
jail, you're a
open.
hostage. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, it sounds more like an open friendship. Like he could have friends. That's what it sounds like. But then it's kind of like, if you're saying, okay, you can't answer the phone, maybe she's somebody that don't want it like in her face or in front of her, and who knows how that phone call could go. So maybe that's one. And then I don't know. It's complicated.
It is complicated because
it's like when I think of open relationship, I think of it as me and you have that understanding, but we both are allowed to do what we please. Like that's what I think of. Like you can talk to who you talk to. I could deal with whoever I want to deal with, but we both have that understanding that when it's us type of thing. That's just what I think of. Like we solid, we locked in, but we free to do what we want at the same time. So when I think of all the control around it, it's like it's not really open.
It's
like,
not. It's not. Now, here's the other shit, because I told my friend, I was like, okay, I see where you're going with this, and maybe the problems arise because maybe she doesn't have somebody. Maybe that's just her way of saying, okay, you know, I just want to know if somebody else wants you.
But
I mean, to me, an open relationship is like you said. Both parties have, they come to an understanding and everything is mutual. Whether it's at home or it's outside of the home. Because here's the thing, if you have to have an open relationship, you really should not be in that relationship. Because there's always going to be drama behind those decisions if one or the other has a significant other. It's always going to happen. You can't avoid it. I mean, come on.
But I feel like that's any relationship.
That is true.
Honestly,
if you have to look outside of your relationship, you either should not be in that relationship, should not be married, should not be X causa.
But I mean, like, in general, you can be in a relationship. You can even be married. And you can meet someone at work or meet someone random, like a random spot at a party, club, whatever. And it's like, if you connect with that person and you guys are okay, I'm technically in an open relationship and you're vibing with this person more than your own partner, at that point, those same lines can cross. And then if you're in a marriage, those lines could cross as well. So it's kind of hard to say, like, it don't mean you're looking outside. It just means the outside came in somehow.
That is true.
But, some people kind of look at it like they frown upon open relationships, or even poly relationships. Is just like, me personally, it's like, if you and that person have that understanding that if anything goes left, meaning you fall for somebody, I fall for somebody, and we don't stay as connected, like, I feel like that should be put out there before y'all even open it, honestly. Because that is a possibility that you meet somebody and you connect with them more than the person that you're actually with. So it's like that can happen naturally. And I feel like that's something that needs to be talked about before you even open it up. Because it can happen. True. And then what?
And then what? You're going to have all this drama day and
very
night.
True. Very true.
And some women and some men, because it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Y'all just too messy. That shit is
very
messy.
True.
Period. And
very
honestly, from my point of view, is I don't do messy.
It's too much.
It is. It is too much. You are right. And just the thought of someone coming to me and telling me this, I'm just like, it's too messy.
It's true.
Like, leave me out of this whole entire equation. Let's do some math here.
It's like,
cancel me out.
Listen to my problems. Yeah, I don't know. I've been in the whole what somebody would consider an open relationship, but it was like, on my end, it was kind of like, I'm aware of what you're doing. We had that conversation there. We both kind of know what it is. But at the time, it was like, I wasn't more so on like wanting to be with other people. So yeah, that situation kind of went how it went, but it was just like looking back, it was like, maybe I should have been with other people. I think when you're by yourself, like versus when you guys both have someone to focus on, it's a distraction from both of you. So then you get to miss that person and be around that person versus when you don't have nobody but the other person do, you constantly wondering what the other person's doing because you have nothing else to focus on. So I don't recommend it.
All
If
right.
it's open, it needs to be all the way open.
Okay, now since you said that, so in an open relationship, are you allowed to date?
Yes, it's open.
That's what I'm saying. So
Unless it's
why would the other
semi-open.
person get mad?
Because if that other person already has in their mind that these are the rules, we discussed this, and you aren't abiding by those, they may look at that as cheating. Like, because if we talked about this and we both had the understanding that this is what we both can do, and anything outside of that, no. You're cheating at that point. In their mind, I'm assuming.
But see, here's another one. Now, I had a comment when I was asking this question. The comment was, "It's not cheating." How is it not cheating? But and how is it cheating? Let's go both ways. It's not cheating because you agreed to be in an open relationship. So how is it cheating if you agreed to be in an open relationship?
The only example I could think of, I think it was like a T-Pain interview, and he kind of talked about it and was like, me and my wife bring people in, but if I sleep with somebody without her, it's cheating. So it's kind of the same concept. Like, we have this understanding, we have, what we think it should be, like our communication about this and what we feel about it. And anything outside of that, you're not abiding by that, yeah, you are cheating. Like, no, that's how I feel about that. You're cheating at that point. I don't care. You cheated. Open
Because the other person is not?
No, not that. I mean, if you have it to where it's like, okay, cool. We could both talk to people, right? Just don't bring them to the house. Okay. And then you bring somebody and I come home and somebody in the house. What's that at that point? Are you just disrespecting me, or is that considered cheating?
That's considered disrespectful and cheating.
See? You see what I mean?
That means I think both parties have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are into this menage a trois, oh shoot, I forgot to translate. Ay, perdón, mis amores. Me fui con el corriente aquí con Jazzy, Bueno, le hice la pregunta a Jazzy y Jazzy tenía una buena respuesta. Aunque no haya ni buena ni mala, O sea, que todas son correctas, ¿no? De cualquier manera son correctas. Pero sí tiene una razón de que si una pareja dice, vamos a tener una relación abierta donde tú haces algo y yo hago lo que se me dé la gana y la otra persona igual, X causa. ¿Cómo se dice? Igual. Entonces, está bien, pero tienen que tener los dos, ¿cómo se dice? La mujer y el hombre tienen que tener ese entendido de que no te estoy, ¿cómo se dice? Haciendo cheat. How do you say cheat in Spanish? ¿Dónde está? A ver, Jasmine, ¿cómo se dice cheat en Spanish? Cuando se ponen los cuernos. Que sí, que ni uno ni el otro se pusieron los cuernos, No salieron de allá de rabo caliente. Eso es una cosa que ya lo sabíamos, pero la otra también es, hay que tener un buen entendido. Exactamente, que el hombre y la mujer, o dos hombres o dos mujeres, como sea, hay que tener ese entendido de que estas son las reglas antes de entrar a una relación abierta. Porque yo en realidad no supe qué más decirle a mi amigo, en realidad. Y no, para esos que tienen confundidos de que este amigo que me anda diciendo esta cosa que se me está echando los, ¿cómo se dice? Los ovos. Pues no es eso. Simplemente él estaba buscando consejos y yo no pude responder eso porque nunca he estado en una situación así. Ahora, la otra cosa que le pregunté yo a Jasmine fue, si vas a estar en una relación abierta, sí, entonces, ¿por qué no puedes salir con otra mujer o la mujer salir con otro hombre o lo que sea? ¿Verdad? Bueno, seguimos con Jazzy. Continue, Jazzy.
Oh, where was I talking about? No, I'm playing. What was the other part? What's not considered cheating? Is that what the question was?
Mm-hmm.
I think it just depends on the dynamic that you guys have set up. Like, in my opinion, it's all based on that. Like, the communication, the foundation that you guys have set for what you want within this open relationship. I think it just depends on that. And if you go against that or disrespect that, I look at it like you cheated. Cheated. Look at it like, okay, y'all took vows. And if I go outside of them vows, you feel like I'm cheating on you. So look at it the same way. That's how
I see what you're saying.
Even if it's not that deep, it is.
Now, don't you think if a couple, whether they're married or just living together, engaged, whatever, and they already do threesomes or foursomes, whatever it is, and say the other person, the woman or the man, you know, like you said, bring someone else to the house, and then that's considered cheating. Okay, I get that. What about if at the beginning of them coming to this, hey, you know what, let's do a threesome, and you can do whatever you want to do, and I can do whatever I want to do, whether it's with you or with them, you know, because obviously if you're going to be doing a threesome or foursome, you obviously feel comfortable with this person.
Right.
So why do you have to wait for your your spouse, the other significant other? Yeah. I don't know, but this drink is so good. I'm feeling it already.
Oh my God. It was like 2 sips.
2 ounces, girl. 2 ounces. Wow. Anyways, I think we need to bring Natral in. Maybe he can shine some light into this. Just in case. But anyways, while he's preparing, we're gonna have Natral. Mis reinas, les voy a traer su chocolate a este bombón hermoso que va a entrar en unos minutitos. Nabila, si estás mirando el show, aquí va a entrar tu chocolate. Ya sabes, mi reina, qué hermoso está este amor. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, pero qué caliente se está poniendo aquí ya. Okay, Jazzy. So the significant other, you know, they say at the beginning, you know, hey, you know what, let's do this, and you're comfortable. Oh yeah, you know, let's do a little bit of, you know, they do like a little bit of role play between themselves, and they're like, hey, you know what, that went well, I felt good and everything. But let's say one or the other, one of the significant others of that couple, whether it's the man or the woman, say they have a business trip, and the other person is feeling lonely. Is that still considered cheating? Even though at the beginning, those were one of the...
Like they were allowed to basically do that, in a sense.
Exactly.
To me, I think it comes down to the whole dynamic and communication again. So if you guys felt like this is something that we can continue openly, we don't need to tell each other about it, like we could just do us, then no. But if it gets to a point where either person is like, okay, I'm not feeling this, and I know we started out like this, but I want it to be this way, like that, I feel like that's something that should be discussed, because in that, if the person that's not saying that, that's how they're gonna feel and look at the whole situation. So rather they telling you or not telling you, you're gonna notice in their mood, like they gonna switch up on you real quick. It may go from you being able to have your threesomes to now it's like, nah, I'm cool, I don't want to do nothing. Like it'll be like you'll notice them starting to treat you differently. So I feel like a lot of people that don't speak up on that or let it be known, it may come off like, okay, this is still the understanding on that other person's mind, but you may feel differently. So it's like you got to communicate that, and
communication,
let them know I'm not feeling this no more.
Or also, let's not catch feelings.
See, no, you can't say that,
because that is the problem. That is the problem. I feel like, I kid you not, I know several people that have these type of things of menage a trois, and usually the man will let the woman, because I'm not going to say who they are, and, to Monty
take
here.
Take the cup.
So usually it's the woman that picks the lady or the man. But then again, when it's a couple, majority of the time, usually it's the woman picking a woman. I feel like
it usually is, but I had met somebody and she basically was saying that it was a couple and she was like, we go back and forth to pick. So sometimes I'll pick, he'll pick. So it's kind of like that way. Of course, you may know his type, but it's like it may be different if he brings somebody in versus you always picking somebody. So, but I think it depends on the person, them going back and forth.
Ok, estamos hablando de las parejas que tienen a ¿cómo se dice? Una tercera persona en la relación. Y estamos hablando también de que si vamos a suponer que una de las personas de la pareja salgan y que la otra pareja que se quedó en la casa, que le hablan a la tercera persona para que venga y lo acompañe a ella o a él, ¿significa de que están poniéndose los cuernos o no? Porque ha habido muchas situaciones así y en realidad yo hablo de lo que se venga en el Messenger, así que está bien. Ustedes pregúntenme qué es lo que quieren que hable, qué es lo que quieren, qué temas quieren que toquemos, pero también les digo, si ustedes van a tener están en una relación que sean casados, comprometidos, de novia o de novios nomás, pero que traigan a una tercera o cuarta persona. Y si necesitan inspiración, vayan y visiten allá a Jazmín, la tienda de la 42. Ella les va a ayudar porque yo no sé en realidad si una pareja, digamos, que quieran traer a esa persona, a otras personas en una relación o un matrimonio, no es nomás así de tener sexo, o sea, tiene que haber más cosas de variedades y ahí por eso le estoy diciendo que vayan a la tienda de la 42 porque no es algo que nomás es, óyeme, vente para acá y vamos a tener sexo y ya, pero no. Va a haber muchas cosas que van a tener que necesitar porque como quien dice, óyeme, pues no fue una experiencia buena y van a decir, pues, como que no, pero si le agregan esos juguetitos, especialmente en la pader especial de allá de Jazzy, ahí van a tener muchas cosas de qué hablar. I was talking about that wall again, Jazzy. Some people need some inspiration here. All right, Jazzy. Now, let's talk about boundaries now, Jazzy.
Yes.
Come on, Jazzy. Let's talk about boundaries.
What do you want to know about it?
Well, one of the boundaries, like we've been talking about open relationship, let's touch the boundaries on the open relationship.
Okay.
What would be a good boundary?
For me, I can only speak for self. Because I'm like, I don't know other people in their situations. But one of my boundaries was like the don't have it in my face type of thing. Like, and what I mean by that is, I don't mean like, oh, you can't answer the phone or whatever the case is. It was more so like, I don't want that person around me. I don't want them in my space. I don't want them in our shared space. Like, keep us completely separate. And that was just kind of how I felt about it. Because it's like, she don't need to know me for what? Talk to me for what? We have nothing in common but you. Like, that's how I looked at it. And some people may look at it like, oh, I may want to know that person and just so I know who he's dealing with. But it's like, to me, it was too much. During that time, it was like, nah, that's too deep right there. So that was one. Another one would be more so like, it depends how open they are. If there's them dealing with one other person, or if they're dealing with multiple people, like for sure use protection, all of that. Like, that's main two. So yeah, I think it depends on the dynamic of that other situation. Like, because now it's no longer just you and one other person. It's like multiple situations within one. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what it is you want the boundaries to be. Like, if you guys live together, for sure don't bring them to my home, our home. Like, That's for sure.
That is true. Okay, I'm going to translate that really quick. So, volvimos a tocar el tema de tener una relación abierta, pero estamos tocando ahora la segunda parte, que viene siendo cuáles son las reglas de una relación abierta. Ahora, no experiencia de Jazzy, pero en su modo de pensar, así, ¿cómo se dice? De algo personal, es de que una de las reglas más importantes para ella es de que no traigan a la tercera o la cuarta persona a la relación en la casa. Por ejemplo, ella dice que si el hombre va a salir porque, o sea, sale con otra, que no necesariamente significa de que no puedes contestar el teléfono, simplemente que no se lo tires en cara de que sí están en otra relación, a pesar de que están en una relación abierta. Ok. In my whole thought in this, from my personal view here, looking from the outside in, I would have to say, if you are in an open relationship and you talked about it, then it doesn't matter if the other person calls whether you're there or not. Because fact of the matter is, you are in an open relationship. Because if you are going to be in an open relationship, when you go out and have that open relationship, you're really not going to have a relationship with the other person, because then the other person is going to be pissed off. And I'm sorry, if it was me and they say, oh, I'm sorry, don't call me at such and such time. Oh no, honey. See, I will be the first one to be calling you every 5 minutes and cause drama. But that's just me though. I'm an instigator, so.
And that's
kidding.
another thing to touch on really quick.
Okay.
Just because it's like, it's been situations to where I don't want to do like the whole main inside thing, but it's like, if you and that person already been together longer and now you guys open it up and this new person come around, like, and that's another thing about the boundaries, is like, if they feel that they can all of a sudden dictate how we have been operating, that one gotta get cut loose. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
No, it's too much.
But see, remember, we started out with the part where it was the woman that, oh, well, look at here, el bombón nos acompañó. Hello, Natrell, how you doing?
What's going on? First, before we start, or before I start, I want to put this disclaimer out that I've been drinking. So, do not hold me accountable to anything that I may or may not say or may possibly deny later.
Because you won't remember it.
Because I won't remember. But yeah. Let's go with the questions.
All right, so let me catch you up on this. So we're talking about open relationships.
Open relationships.
Yes, open relationship.
Okay.
Tell us your definition.
My definition of an open relationship is well, first let me say what my definition of a relationship is. My definition of a relationship is what two individuals make it. It's what they design it to be. So if we're putting the word open in front of the relationship, then it's whatever we design that relationship and whatever we decided to open. So some people may say an open relationship may be defined as I can go get some from whoever I want, or vice versa. But open to me is whatever we decide to open. I can open the door, but just because the door is open don't mean anybody can walk in that thing. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I have a studio. People come and go. There's people that have come that couldn't come in. It just is what it is. So an open relationship to me is whatever that the two parties defined as open. So it might be emotional Like, our emotions are for each other. However, we can go get down with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be we can both get down with somebody else if we both involved type of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Relationships, period, to me are designed by the two individuals that are in that relationship. So whether it be open or closed or partly open or cracked, however you want to look at it, it's whatever we design to be cracked, open, closed, whatever. We have the liberty and the freedom to say, hey, this is the terms of our relationship. This is how we're going to move. So I'm allow you to get some. However, you know, you can't get none unless I get some. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. That's just my theory, and you know, but I've been drinking, so you know.
I wonder what the crack relationship is like.
Okay.
I'm trying to see what that one's about. That sounds interesting.
Do tell us about that one now.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, with the crack relationship, that could possibly be, it's not all the way open.
You just looking to see.
Because we ain't about to let anybody in. But, you know, there's some situations, like, I know some guys, some other guys that
Keyword,
other guys, I'm putting it out there, I don't want no problems, that like to watch their women have sex with other guys. That turns them on. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. I have a woman friend who likes her guy to have sex with somebody else, but she has to be the person telling them what to do. So she's the narrator of the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So
I think that's hot.
you see what I'm saying? So
let me be in charge.
Exactly. So I'm not saying exactly like that's what I want. I'm saying it exactly. I've been drinking. What I'm saying is, I'm saying exactly because just like you thought, hey, you know, that would be hot. Well, in relationships, people think different things are hot. So what's hot to you may not be hot to the next person. However, in order for two parties to be pleased, you got to do things that are hot for both parties. So, you know, the guy might just be like, you know what? I love you, but it wouldn't be a bad thing if a brother could, you know what I'm saying, step out and get a little chop every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But you might be like, you know what? It would be cool if I can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, be a little bossy and tell these fools what to do and how to do it and how to take it and all that, and, you know, call them names and all that thing. You know what I'm saying? So where's the compromise? The compromise is, all right, look, I know you want to go get you some, but you can only get some if that's perfect. If that's that person, I've been drinking, if that person is willing to let you be in charge. So, you know what I'm saying? That's to me is a open or cracked
Crack relationship.
Yeah. With that, I'll take another drink.
I'll join you. Para que lo que estén oyendo eso, en el Facebook está un botoncito por ahí que dice translate. It's too much for me to translate right now. Estoy tomando. I'm drinking too. I can't talk. I can't translate. So, hay un botón donde dice ahí en el Facebook que hagas translate y lo va a decir en inglés a en español, por si acaso, ¿eh? Y si no, pues ahí con el diccionario y... Ay, Dios mío, este bombón está bien caliente ahorita.
I don't know what you said, but...
No. Okay, so there you have it, Jazzy. That's a crack relationship.
Got it.
Okay?
I know a couple cracked ones then.
All right.
There are some relationships on crack, too. But,
I know a couple cracked ones.
Okay, so the other thing is, since you gave me your the definition of an open relationship, so Jazzy and I, we were talking about the boundaries of that open relationship. So let's say, for instance, again, this is just
hypothetical type
Yes.
of conversation.
Yes, that doesn't
mean that I am trying to do this, or I am doing
Nope.
this, or I am involved in any of these type of things. This is just me interacting with the ladies on my station, having a good show about sex.
Sizzling sex. Okay, so in an open relationship, one of the boundaries was, so say hypothetically, quote unquote,
Hypothetical, yeah.
yes, you're in an open relationship.
Okay, hypothetically in an open
Again,
relationship, hypothetically. Mhm.
And you actually found somebody else, because again, hypothetically, in an open relationship,
Yeah.
the third person, we're just gonna go by numbers, okay?
Yeah. Person 3.
Person number 3
Mhm.
calls, and let's say your significant other is there.
Mhm.
Are you gonna be allowed to answer that call, or is that significant other gonna be tripping and just doing the most?
Well, again, I think relationships are they have to be defined. There has to be boundaries. There have to be rules set. So if I say, hey, I want an open relationship, well, I'm gonna have to define what that is to the person that I'm in a relationship with, because they have to be able to say I agree to that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it depends on the type of situation I'm in. I'm gonna respect my partner. So if my partner says, hey, look, you know what, you can go get some, but I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to know about it, I don't want you to bring it home, I don't want you, use protection, whatever the case may be. Well, if I want to stay in that relationship, then I'm going to stay in the boundaries of what those rules are. If I decide that I'm gonna slide out of one of those boundaries, and that person finds out, and then that person decides to leave, then that's on me, because I didn't follow the guidelines of what our relationship is. Now, if we say we have an open relationship, and then my partner goes sleep with somebody or whatever the case may be, and I didn't really want that, then I'm over here mad that it's on me, because I didn't define what I would allow and what I didn't allow. So again, you can't come to the table and say, hey, I want this, and not be 100 about what open relationship is. My open might not be your open. Your open may not be my open. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta define it.
So keyword communication.
Yo.
And set the boundaries from day one, not as you go along. Oh, we're gonna subtract this because I don't like it, so you can't do this no more.
Mhm.
But that could happen though. Like if you're in a situation and you guys already said like, okay, this is what it's gonna be, and as it goes along, you're like, nah, I don't like that. Like I feel like having that conversation to change it should be part of it. Like, because it may get to a point to where either person may want to close it off, and you can't just close off your side and be like, okay, close yours. Like that's something that needs to be talked about.
And then, in either one of those parties have the right to opt out and say, hey, look, I don't want to do it. And then that other person has the right to say, you know what, well, if you don't want to do it, that's what we came into our relationship at, and define. So now that you're trying to do something else, it's not the same relationship that we started. So I'm opting out, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, options. You gotta be honest with yourself, and you gotta know what you can accept and what you can't. And if chances are you can't accept your mate being with somebody else, then you might want to close that thing. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Keep that thing closed all the way, because you have to have a certain type of maturity to be in that type of situation where, because you never know who your partner about to get, and they might come through with some of that fire. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
you never know.
Been drinking.
I've been drinking. They come through with that fire, and then you're gonna be like, I don't know. I might need to stay over here. You feel me?
In other words, close that door, close the little peephole. Don't open it, just lock it up. But you are correct about that, Natrell. You do have to be a very mature person.
Maturity is
to
important.
even open that can of worms. You just can't do a little peekaboo and then close it and think that everything is all right, because again, that your significant other can
You might
catch
peekaboo and see some shit you don't want to see.
exactly, and maybe catching feelings. Maybe this. I mean, she may be this. He may. Yeah, it's just all around. All right. So, what other boundary is good as far as sex goes? Let's spice it up. Forget the
I was like,
boring
okay.
shit stuff. Let's talk about sex now.
Me,
Again,
look, I was
we've
like,
been
me
drinking.
personally, or anybody.
Anybody, go ahead.
Look, me personally, when I'm with
You gotta
somebody,
talk in that mic.
oh, let me get up on that.
Talking to the mic.
See, look at you. All right. Me personally, I don't know. When I'm with somebody, like, I'm not gonna say no don't exist, because when I say no, I mean that. But it's like, for the most part, I'm pretty open-minded. It's not really too much I'm gonna say no to. So,
Okay.
I said I'm open-minded. It's not too much I'm gonna say no to, but it's like, if it's something where I'm like, all right, nah, like I'll even try it, and I'm like, okay, no.
Not even once?
I'll try it, but if I'm not feeling it, no. Like, if I say no, I'm standing on it. Like, But I don't know. I think that whole being comfortable and having that communication again is kind of, that'll set the tone for what your boundaries could be. So
Absolutely.
that's how I look at that. But you, like, when you dealing with somebody, you know your partner well enough to know they're not comfortable with that, or they are comfortable. Like, you kind of know their boundaries as you've been with them, so you'll have an idea of yes and no before you even do it. That's how I feel.
I think you should get to know your partner before you allow somebody else to come into the picture. Because, again, when you know your partner and you know what makes them tick and what makes them, then the competition isn't that, you know what I'm saying? But somebody come into that picture and they start touching some things that you didn't reach, or pulling some strings that you didn't pull, then that might make the game a little tougher for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's always a catch-22 to the thing.
Very true.
Very true. I mean, I didn't even think about it that way, but that is true. I mean, let's face it. I mean, men get jealous, women. Okay, we get crazy. But so do
Everybody
men.
got some crazy in them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It
Just
goes
take
both
that
ways.
certain person
And
and bring it up.
you are correct about that. First, know your partner before you bring anyone, because why? It's not something to do at the beginning of any relationship.
No.
Something that you can do and discuss after, and not even after a year. I mean, we're talking about years, because you really don't get to know that person. How crazy is that significant other until way after 5 years?
I think the flip side to it, I'm playing devil's advocate too. The flip side to it is everybody, their tolerance is different to things, and everybody's view of what sex isn't the same. So some people see sex as a sacred act, something that's sacred to a couple, or sacred to a married couple, or however that type of situation is. But some of us, or some of them, some people that are outside of the studio, because we're just giving opinions, not based on what we personally think, but just giving different, I've been drinking, but some of them think that sex is just a sex. It's just, it's a fun act that two people can enjoy and try different things, or whatever the case may be. So you got to know who you dealing with.
And then there's also the sex that actually unites, brings two people together. It's not just having sex. It's a couple of people have told me before that, sex is sex. Having sex is another whole different thing. But then there's making love. So again, we all been drinking here, so we're just giving opinions, okay?
So, and that's that crazy thing. Like, you know, some open relationships might say, "Hey, you can knock that thing down." However, don't get that love away. You know what I'm saying? Don't make love. Don't you know what I'm saying? Caress and hold. And well, if you gonna step out of this relationship, you better just treat her like she is straight. You know what I'm saying? Or treat him like he is straight up. You know. Punk,
what I'm saying?
You know, and talk noise to him and slap him around, whatever the case. However they like to do it, they like to do it. You know. With that, I'm gonna take another sip.
Me too.
All right. I think one thing that we haven't touched on, y'all wildin'. One thing I feel like we haven't touched on is the trust aspect of really being in an open relationship. Because it's like, just because we have set these boundaries, I really got to trust that you are executing your end and not really crossing those boundaries at the same time too. So it's like, yeah, we could communicate that, but it's like, I got to really trust that you not disrespecting what we agreed upon as well. I think you really got to know your partner. You really got to know your partner. Got real deep.
That's a good one.
Got real deep.
Yes, it did. It got real deep.
Take a sip. That communication factor is so important. Like, you gotta communicate. You gotta know who you dealing with, and you gotta know yourself. You gotta know what you can handle. You know, I've been in some situations where I thought I could handle it, and I was sadly mistaken. You know, because certain things made me feel a little uncomfortable, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to know what you can handle. You got to really know yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with that other person. Yeah,
that is true.
With that, I'll take another sip.
Jazzy, you want to join him?
Cheers.
Look at me.
Cheers.
I feel like we're on like the drink champs or something.
I know, right?
I was just watching that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. But you know what, Jazzy, that was a good one. Trust.
Mm-hmm.
However, how are you? I mean, I get it. You have to trust your partner. But again, you know, in the back of it, because if it was me, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, is he really doing this? I mean, I'd be questioning. But again, that's just me. I like to question everything. I want to see everything.
My situation, when I was in it, it was like, if I already have trust within you and I see how you are with me, and if I'm, you know, rather you on the phone or whatever the case is, and I'm hearing certain conversations and how you're interacting with that person, that'll give me the idea of how you are with her. So it's like, if you being cold to her on the phone, rather I'm sitting here or I just came in the house or whatever the case is, like I knew that person well enough to be like, yeah, he ain't doing that. Like, I knew him well enough and we were open enough and we had those conversations. Like, although I eventually met that person, starting out, it was like we had those conversations. It wasn't because we looked at each other more so as friends than being like, nah, we in this commitment together, we in this open relationship. We didn't look at it like that. We just looked at it like, we all here type of thing. So we had those conversations, and me knowing him, it was like, yeah, he's not doing it. Like, certain stuff, for the most part, we really didn't even have boundaries like that because we respected each other enough to be like, this is what's going on in that situation. So it's kind of like, I knew when he was lying about stuff and wasn't lying about stuff. So me personally, that was my last open situation. And I don't plan on having any more. Like, it was enough for me. Like, no.
Completely understand.
Yeah, like, nah.
Yeah,
I'm at the point, if you my significant other, you better be real significant. Like, because That's where it's at. It's up and it's
Could
stuck.
there
I'm
be
not.
an insignificant other?
You better be real
My
significant.
insignificant other.
You better be real significant at this point. People are, they will drag you respectfully and disrespectfully.
So let me ask you guys this question, and I know the time is getting away from us, or has gotten away from us, because it is now beyond the time.
Oh, okay.
However,
We were drinking.
yeah, we were drinking,
Sip.
and but back to the question. So, if you're in a open relationship and your partner has sex with the same sex, is that still cheating?
No.
For me, I don't want it. For me, I don't want it. I don't want it.
So it's not cheating?
For me, I don't want it. Like, I don't want that
Honestly,
situation at
I
all.
wouldn't see it as cheating because, again, if you agree to be in an open relationship and you're with that mindset, you can do whatever you want to do and I'll do whatever I want to do. I'm sorry, it's not cheating.
If we discussed it, and it's like, because there's some people that have it to where, I won't say some people, I know some men to where it's like, yeah, she could sleep with another woman, but she can't sleep with another man. I know men that have said that and have been in those situations and they don't feel no type of way about it. But me personally, knowing that I'm with a man, I don't want him with another man. Like, that's just me personally. That's how I feel about it. But based on
Absolutely.
other people's situations, like, if that works for y'all, that's how I look at it. It's nothing against nobody. It's just me personally. I wouldn't want that in my situation. Like, I'm barely handling him being with another woman. He with a man too. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, everybody fair game for him. Like, nah.
Well, see, that's when you have to change it around and
It's
be
too
like, well,
much.
shoot, I can have a man and I can have a woman.
No.
I mean, it goes back to what we were talking about of sex. For some men, seeing two women together is hot. Again, one woman might say, hey, I think it's very sexy, or I feel really good if I'm with a woman. I mean, hell, some of the threesomes are two men and a woman, two women and one man, or all together, all three men, all three women. I mean,
Oh shit.
he, she males. I mean, I don't know.
Heck.
Again,
Mhm.
I don't consider it as cheating because, again, if you're in that mindset of you can do whatever and I can do whatever,
Then we gonna do whatever.
we're gonna do whatever.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
We already finished the bottle.
There are some things that I'm not gonna be with, but we'll have to talk about that on another show.
You know what? Hold on.
What's
Let
up?
me say
Okay.
this. You know what, Malik? Next week, I think you need to join us. All three of us. Because we're going to talk about
In the
sex.
conversation.
In the conversation,
yeah.
in the show. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been drinking. Okay?
Join the conversation that we are talking about and discussing about open relationships. Yeah, we got to be specific in what we're talking about, especially since we've been drinking. We have
All
been
right.
drinking, and yeah,
We need to bring
Okay.
another bottle next week.
this is some good stuff.
You know what? This is good.
I was like, y'all don't drink Stella?
So I am going to leave the show so I can close it down in the back. Thank you, ladies, for having me for the last 15, 20 minutes of the show.
Thank you for joining us. And you're going to join us next week with Malik
In conversation.
in conversation. That's right.
And we're going to talk about very good topics.
You know what? I got the book.
Oh, and you guys might see the book.
You know
I don't
what?
want no parts of the book, though. I'm cool on the book. I'm just letting y'all know that Trail does not get down with the book. Bookless Trail. But
All right.
goodbye,
All
y'all.
right, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know, so next week we're gonna be talking more about in conversation. Malik and Atra is gonna join us again, and we're gonna talk about the book. So I'm gonna show you guys the book. This is a book with a silver metal cover. Whew, it got hot in here.
It's all
So
the
see you
wine.
guys next week. Jazzy, you're gonna be here next week, right?